Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dr. Zero Show. I have an interesting guest, and we will mainly talk about PhD, and we will talk about academia. Hi, Ulrika Persson. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I would like to start to my question. You got your PhD some time ago. Maybe you will explain the year, state the year. But then you had the biggest surprise. What happened?
Yes, I got my PhD in 2016, and 1.5 years later, in 2018, I was contacted by the university where I defended my thesis. They said that I had been accused of cheating, of fraud, and that the person demanded that the university revoke my PhD. The person said that my PhD was so good that I could not possibly have written it myself, and hence I must have paid someone to write it for me. So I was accused of having bought my PhD thesis. The person also wrote that he was shocked, that he was offended, it was a breach of honor,
I
and
mean,
that
why, wait a minute. I just really try to understand it. So why, how come it is possible that you couldn't do very good work, but you paid somebody else to do it? How it is possible with PhD if you are the one who collected the data, or if you are the one who analyzed it? What evidence did he propose or she propose?
the person did not provide any proof or evidence or facts or anything for these allegations. He just said that this was the case. And of course, I wrote the thesis completely on my own. I collected the data, I made the analysis, I wrote it. So he simply said that I am the kind of person who simply cannot write a good thesis. And he never even read anything I wrote. So I don't know why he thought this. And he didn't provide any evidence whatsoever.
Okay, then what happened? Because how does it happen? Like, is it possible to strip even though you didn't? Like, how did you prove that you wrote this? So what I'm really curious, because it will be a shock for you when you receive this type of email from your university.
Yes. So what I found out was that the person who accused me of this is a distinguished professor. He's a chair of his subject at his university. So I realized that this was a person with a lot of power within academia, a lot of prestige, a lot of status. And he told the university that they had broken their professional relationships by letting me defend my thesis. So even though I was completely innocent to these allegations, I realized I had to take it very seriously, because the consequences, if they would listen to him, would be very severe for me. And it was me against a distinguished professor, a chair. And it was a very uneven struggle. So therefore, I had to put all my effort into proving that I had written this myself. So I had to hire a lawyer who helped me with this, and whom I had to pay a very, very large sum of money to do
I
this.
will come to. So you had to have a lawyer, but isn't what happened to innocent until proven?
Well, yes, it seems that in academia, you're not innocent until proven. You are guilty until proven otherwise. So what the university did was simply to forward to me the allegations this person made and asked me to answer it. So the university did not make their own investigation. They just let me to defend myself against this. And I absolutely, it was a situation where I was guilty until I was proven innocent. And I did prove that, but it was very hard work and took several years and a lot of time and energy, which I would much rather have put into my academic work, which I instead had to put into defending myself like this.
How did it impacted you, like at that moment? Because later on you came to public because there was a news about it
Yes.
on
So
TV. So how did you? Why did you? What happened at that moment? And then how did you decide to go to public, and why?
yes, of course. When it happened, I was completely devastated. I was very scared. I was afraid that I would lose my PhD, not because I was guilty, but because this was a very prestigious person. And my whole life project was threatened by this. Many years of work and the kind of career that I had worked for a long time to do. Of course, I mean, this had devastating effects on my personal and private life because I had to concentrate solely on this. It had completely devastating effects on my private finances. I immediately contacted the university where he works and where also I currently work and asked them to look into this matter because I think it is a matter of harassment. So I turned to Human Resources Department and asked them for help. They didn't help me. According to the regulations, they are supposed to investigate the matter. Instead, they asked me to investigate the matter, which I did. In the end, it turned to higher and higher levels within the university. So in the end, the vice chancellor decided that nothing wrong had happened. So it was perfectly okay with the university that this person tried to destroy my career like this with no evidence.
Somebody accuse you, your PhD at another university, and then it is find out that it is baseless, and then there is no consequences of that one because what if there was no proper investigation? You will lose your position, all your time, and also your reputation.
Yes.
And then all this stress. So the guy, as far as I understood, lost nothing.
Yes.
But were you able to? Don't get me wrong, but because when these type of things happen, people usually say, "What have you done to this person?"
Yes. Yes.
What have you done to this person?
Yes. So, well, the first thing that you may think that him and I must have had a conflict of some sort.
Definitely, there should be a history.
Yes, that this would be kind of a part of an ongoing process between him and me, where we would both be active parties. But this is not the case. We did not have a conflict. We have never even met. I haven't spoken with him. He has never read anything that I have written. So in that sense, it is nothing personal because we don't know each other at all. And that makes it seem even stranger that he did this. But the story behind it is that for a long time, I was a PhD student at the department where he later became a professor.
Okay.
At that department, there was another professor, and we had different academic positions in the scientific field we were working in. And he did not like that I had an opinion of my own. He even wanted me to shift my kind of perspective, but that would have been tampering with my data, and I didn't want to do that. So when I handed in my thesis, he didn't want the department to let me defend my thesis. So they actually told me to go somewhere else to defend my thesis.
So wait a minute. Actually, you were conducting your PhD at one university, but you couldn't defend it, and you had to go to another university to defend.
Yes.
And even there, this person did not let you be alone.
No, exactly. So first, at the first university, they said, "Oh, your thesis is so bad, you cannot defend here. Go somewhere else." That's what they told me, or they wrote to me in black and white, "Go somewhere else." I went somewhere else, and then they didn't let me be either. This person then accused me of writing a too good thesis.
Was it somewhere else in Nordic, just to show the quality? Maybe did you go to somewhere that nobody knows? So
no.
Was it a Nordic university?
It was a Nordic, and it's a university which is also of equally high standard as his university. So it's in the Nordic context. This may not be what you expect to happen in the Nordic context, but it is.
So why do you think this happened? Was it because you went to public? How did you dare to go to public, and why did you go to public?
Well, the thing is, since I tried, I mean, I did according to the book. You're supposed to go to HR if something like this happened. They're supposed to help you. They didn't. In the end, I suffered all the consequences personally, financially, in my career, which is halted. I mean, my reputation is torn apart. I cannot work in the field where I have my degree. So my career is halted. So I suffered all the consequences, although I was innocent, and he hasn't suffered any consequences at all. So even unfounded accusations are effective in stopping someone's career. And in the end, I also felt very vulnerable and very kind of exposed. And in the end, I got so tired of being afraid all the time. So I felt, no, I don't want to be afraid anymore. I want this to be open. I'm not going to accept this culture of silence in academia. I want this to be public because I want us to start talking about these problems. So that is why I went public.
But how? Because you had to pay for lawyer, but did you get enough support from union? I assume you were a member of an academic union.
I am a member of the union and have always been, and I have sought their support all through this, but I haven't received any support whatsoever. So I was completely alone and had to work on this on my own.
I mean, it is so you went to public because it don't get me wrong, because it is too bad to be true. I mean, the way that you describe.
Yes.
So I am laughing, but it is too bad to be true.
Yes. Yes, and it is too bad to be true. And if I didn't have all the written documentation, I mean, emails and so on, I don't think anyone would have believed me. But because I have all this, I have the proofs. This has actually happened. And this person has written these emails, and the department has acted like this towards me. So no one can deny that it has happened.
So you went to, so after it got public, it was a television, national television. So what happened? Like, I mean, weren't you scared that something, because now you are working at the same university and then you are going public about the same issue that people who make this type of decisions are still working on?
Yes, of course. I was very scared. I'm still scared, but I decided to do it because living in this fear was really destroying me. I couldn't stand living in that fear any longer, and going public is also in a way to put the light on the university so that they cannot really do just anything like they have done. I have received a lot of support after going public by individuals, also, I mean, from the university. And that's not just people like me at the bottom of the hierarchy, but also professors, deans, head of departments, and so on. They have contacted me with support. Everybody says, you are so brave. So in Sweden, in academia today, you are brave.
I mean, you are brave just to say that I didn't steal my PhD.
Yes.
Or I didn't.
Yes.
Have...
Yes.
So.
Yes. So you're brave if you speak the truth in a Swedish university today, which is very sad. So I have received a lot of support, but not only support, I have also been punished for going public. His department has spread false information about me, about what happened, and so on. So it's this type of harassment is ongoing.
But one parenthesis: why do you we talk about why it happened? But do you think this happened because you are, because of the gender, because you are female, or is it?
I have never thought about it like that myself, and I absolutely do not think that is the whole truth. Maybe a part of it could be, but not all of it. I think why this happened. I mean, and this person says himself very clearly in this written documentation, he felt offended. It was a breach of honor. So that is what it is about. It's a type of honor culture because his department had said, you are bad. The
But
university where I defended my thesis says you are okay. So just by being accepted as good enough at another university was an offense to him. And if you make that offense to someone, you must be punished. So he punished me.
sorry to say, but these offense verses start to be used too much. I mean, okay, I mean, what is the fact? You felt offended, but what is the fact? This person has not stole the thesis or made a fraud, did not manipulate the data, just analyze the data, collect the data, defended it another place, and I got the PhD, as you said, almost equivalent qualifications. So it is so strange. I mean, it is not different. I mean, how it will be different than, let's say, in another culture that you end life of another woman because you feel offended.
I think it's the same thing actually. He explicitly wrote he's offended that they let me defend my thesis. So that's the big crime I made. I managed to defend my thesis when his department had already deemed me too bad. So that is the crime, because that is makes his department look bad, and then
But
that is
basically,
defense.
you got punished because you are resilient. I mean, it is a strength
Yes.
actually. If you really look, you
Yes.
couldn't get what you wanted to get, or they didn't. They closed
Mm.
the doors one way or another. Let's say
Yes.
they didn't close it, but you couldn't open per
Mm.
se. But you were resilient to get your degree, and then still this is happening. It
Yes.
is really, really strange. So you went to public, but you said that you are scared. What can happen? Like, are you scared to lose? Because apparently, of course, it will have an impact about your career because you got your, even going another university to defend PhD, even though everything will be ready, it means that it is loss of couple of years
Yes.
per se. But beyond that, it is also reputation loss. You also said that lost money. How much money did you lose?
Several tens of thousands of euros.
Okay. So it is not cheap to defend, to prove yourself that you are not guilty.
No.
But then you said that you are scared. Did you feel that you would lose your position when you went to public, or when this process was going on?
What I'm not scared per se that they will simply fire me. I mean, that in a very blunt way, that's not really kind of possible in the Swedish system. What is likely to happen is, like, when I apply for a docentship or a professorship, then they will say, oh, this is not good enough. When I want to, collaborate with people, they will say, but she's not really someone we want to collaborate, is it? So that my opportunities for a career development will be severely damaged, so that my work will just be not leading anywhere. And my fear is that they will do this to make me quit on my own, because the work is being so difficult for me.
So it
that
will
is
not
what
be direct confrontation, but behind the doors, implicit blockage, so that you couldn't.
Yes. And this is the most difficult things. I mean, the things that happens behind the closed doors. Explicit criticism you can deal with, but these things that happens behind closed doors, when the people with power and prestige are helping each other, that is what is so difficult to deal with. And I don't expect my career or my life will be easier after going public in this regard, but still I'm happy to have done it. It has helped me to be less scared, and it also has helped me to get lots of new contacts. So my network is now wider than it was before, and I think this is the greatest asset in university, that you have a strong network in academia. That is what can help you to survive next time you become attacked, because I don't doubt that I will be attacked again. It's not a question of not being attacked. It's about how to survive the next time.
Okay. So another thing. So what are your plans right now? Like what are you planning to do? Are you planning to do something for people
Yes,
that has
yes.
similar experiences that you are having,
Mm.
or do you want to say, okay, it is over, I am going to somehow take care of myself until the next attack?
No, I have been contacted by many people after this who have similar experiences before or currently. And I am planning to start a network with these people as a support group for ourselves, and to become this strong network that you need to survive, but hopefully also to become like a lobby group for these questions, to break the very strong culture of silence in academia. Because what I think these structures and these people, what they fear most is the things when it becomes public. So that is what I will continue to try to do, to make all these things public, because I think it's only by external pressure that academia can possibly change. And I will do what I can to contribute to that.
Does it have any name, or is it still under the
Yes,
progress?
it has a name, Fight Vulnerability in Academia. That will be the name of my network.
Vulnerable. Okay, what do you mean with vulnerability? So you think that this happened because you were vulnerable?
No, it is, we are made vulnerable, but it's not because we are vulnerable or weak.
Can you
Absolutely
explain
not.
what do you mean? Is it as a person, or do you mean legal perspective based on the position that you have in the academia?
What I mean is that I think that people who are okay, I think the academic system, it is constantly threatened by people who are strong and competent. So it is those people who are made vulnerable. It's not weak people or people with less competence, because they are not threatening. So I also know that research shows that it is when you get some success, that's when you are attacked, because that's when you become a threat. So we are made vulnerable. It's not because we are vulnerable as people. And I think the legal dimension really has a very important role to play. I am very doubtful that it's possible to get somewhere with legally within academia. If you are to get somewhere legally, you need to go beyond academia, basically to sue the universities. But I think it is an important thing to do. But I also think just going public and going to media and to start discussing and to create these networks is as also important in this. So legally, yes, but not only.
I hear. I now I see you feel much more stronger. You are much more stronger. But if you don't mind, I would like to also know the initial periods. Like, were you feeling that strong, or like how did you sleep, for example? Because I think, if you don't mind, we can skip if you want. No problem. You don't need to answer me. But I think it is important to share this type of feelings
Yes.
also, so that people know that they are not alone when they feel like this.
Well, I was feeling extremely bad for a very, very long time. I even, I was hospitalized because of stress-induced
Really?
syndrome. Yes, so I was in hospital. So my health suffered a lot from this, and I still have these symptoms. So that is a direct consequence of this. And I was so scared and also ashamed. I have felt so much
Ashamed.
shame. Yes, shame
Why?
after shame of being, exposed to this and being made vulnerable. I think it may be a similar type of reaction like people who have been raped, who feel ashamed for being,
Wow.
you know,
And then they were scared to go to public, or like they blamed themselves.
yes. And, my fear has been like a physical fear. The first years after this, I didn't even dare to go near the building where this person works. It was like I was physically afraid of being attacked.
Mhm.
So this really affected me a lot. And the constant fear of being attacked again like this, I mean, in my work, I was very cautious about, whom can I trust, who knows about this, who is on his side, etc. So it really affected all my work. And that I didn't even realize how much this affected me initially. It took a couple of years, and the realization that I really felt like this, and every day kind of enacted strategies to try to defend myself against future attacks. That's what
Survival
really
mode every day should be very hard.
everyday survival mode. It's extremely stressful and takes so much energy. And it was really when I felt I don't want to live like this. That's when I decided to go public, because I can't live like this any longer. I will die. I think,
Yeah.
there
Enough is
you
enough.
can really die. Yes. So I cannot say how much this has affected my life, my health, my finances, my personal relations. I mean, I had to focus on this for several years. I couldn't be the mother, the daughter, the partner I wanted to be, because I just had to try to survive. I was in survival mode, and I literally had to, defend myself. So this has really, I mean, the years that this took away from me with my children, that is kind of that is what I will never
cannot
ever
measure.
forgive. No,
Of
and I
course.
can never get that back. And I can never forgive this for having destroyed these years of my life with my family and my children.
But what would you expect to university? Like a honest apology, or make this person to say, okay, I was wrong, or some. I mean, what could make you feel relieved, even though you had this struggle?
I think I think many others, the only thing that could make us feel safe is if the university clearly says this is an unacceptable behavior, and this must be made an official statement of this, because then we know that other people will not try to do the same against us.
Yeah,
So
an
I cannot.
example that
Yes.
not to be done again.
Yes, so they must say this is unacceptable behavior. We can't deal. This should not happen. That is what the university must do. I think they should also apologize to this other university, because where I defended my thesis, because they caused them so much trouble, and I want them to clear my name, to really say that I was an innocent victim of this, and to say this so that everyone knows that it's safe to work with me and collaborate with me, because I was an innocent victim. Of course, I would also like to be compensated for the effects this has had on my career. So I help in the. I don't expect this ever to happen. Sorry, I don't think it will
I'm just
happen.
thinking, ultimate world, what would make you to at
Yes.
least redeem these feelings?
Well, it is for the university to really clearly state that this is an unacceptable behavior. It's not really so much about punishing him. Of course, I would be very happy if he got fired. I mean, I would really, really like that. But I don't think that will happen. But of course, and one of the
Or
things
at least to receive some warning that I don't
Yes,
know.
yes, some, and I think he should pay all the financial costs that this has cost me. He should pay it.
I mean, I hope there will be brighter features and you can focus on more on your research. And I hope the strength that you feel will continue and the support that you receive will be even larger. And of course, I would like to announce here, we will reach out as Dr. Zero Show to write relevant people. If they want to reply anything that you have claimed, they are welcome. But as far as I know, when you went to public, they didn't want to even respond the national television. I don't expect that they will respond me, but as a responsible person, just to have a fair, equal chance for everybody, I will be happy to host them. It doesn't matter whether they say no to me. If when they want to join, they can come. But other than that, I think they have all their medium to defend themselves, so they should be able to create videos or somehow other means to communicate their side of the story, if there is another side of the story. But I believe that you wouldn't be cleared, or a national television wouldn't take on this type of news if they have not looked at the evidence that you have provided to them, because it's very risky to have this type of situation. Thank you very much for joining, and I appreciate that you are doing this. Okay, you did on national television, but it is first time that you are discussing this with somebody at a program. I appreciate you for joining, and wish you good luck with your career and the next stage of your life.
Thank you very much.
Doctor